What's up everybody, Super Dub Rexford here, and today I'm doing another review. This is the 2012 Range Rover Evoque Prestige Edition. This car looks really mean, obviously, with the black color. You have the bold grille on this car. It's really cool. Headlights with LEDs that light up at night, and the daytime running light portion, really cool. You have some more auxiliary lights down there. It looks very cool, very bold. Stormtrooper kind of looking, Star Wars kind of thing. I love the way these look. They look really cool. The side profile as well on these cars is very nice and slick. It's a very good looking car. And today I'm reviewing this car courtesy of Harrison Auto Sales. The back end of these cars is also a continuation of the front end. It's very slick, aggressive looking. I love these taillights. They're small but effective, and they look great. You have obviously the very bold Range Rover lettering here. You have Evoque. The badge is very nice. Obviously, you cannot confuse this for anything else. They make sure you know it's a Range Rover. That's some of the biggest script I've ever seen on the back of a car. But it looks great. You have this nice little spoiler. The window glass is a little small, which hurts your visibility whenever you're driving it. But it looks cool, so you're trading some of the practicality. So the first thing that I noticed whenever I hopped into the Evoque is just how beautiful everything is in here. Especially, you have this cream white leather in here that just smacks you in the face. It's so bright. This is one of the brightest cabins I've seen in a long time. This car was a custom order car, so it has this dark purple steering wheel, leather wrapped steering wheel. You have dark purple leather up here, and in combination with this dark wood, it actually goes together pretty well. I mean, obviously, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do the dark purple leather, but it's very unique, and it goes well with the white. White and purple go well together. You have that same purple leather here on the door panels in combination with the white, and like I said, this is the Prestige model, so this is fully loaded, really. You have the Meridian sound system in this, which is fantastic. It's really a nice sound system. I've just been listening to the radio for the past few minutes, and it's really impressive. Also, with the Prestige package, you get this enormous glass roof that is just an expansive view. I mean, I think it's probably the biggest piece of glass I've ever seen on the roof of a car in my life. It's just enormous. And since this is an SUV and not a sporty car, who cares if the huge piece of glass is super heavy above your head? It gives you a great view, and it's just really nice to have. That's an awesome feature. Other cool little gizmos in here. Well, this thing is chock full of them. You have the gear shifter that rises out of the dash, which is really cool. You have, engine start buttons. This screen here is a really nice big screen, really nice graphics on it too. The maps and everything, all the user interfaces are beautiful, but the only complaint I have with it that I noticed right away is that it's slow. You press a button and you can probably count to 1 or 2, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then it'll show up. It's very delayed in the way that it works, which is kind of a disappointment because it's a really slick interface. Otherwise, I mean, you have piano black here covering this little cubby hole. There's all kinds of little hidden cubby holes. Apparently Victoria Beckham helped design the interior on this car, so things that I guess soccer moms could use. You have a little pocket down here. You have, like I said, this little cup holder area that also has a little storage container. You have the little cubby hole here in the back where the armrest is, and that also holds your auxiliary and USB ports and things like that. You also have this cool little hidden thing right underneath the audio controls and the climate controls here, and this little cubby hole is big enough to put my hand in, and that's about it. So you can just put small things in there. If you're looking for a place to put a pack of gum or cigarettes or something like that, you can put them in there. Everything else on here is pretty nice. You have buttons for everything, but everything's logically placed, easy to use, easy to control. You have a lot of buttons here on the steering wheel, but it's simple stuff. They're well labeled, easy to use. This is a heated steering wheel too, which is nice. It has paddle shifters. If you want to shift this, with the paddles to manually shift it, you can. Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit of a disappointment to me is the actual gauges. You would think with how high-tech everything else is that the gauges would look more high-tech, but they really don't. They have a screen in the middle that's a nice little screen. It gives you, your temperature, the radio station you're on, your fuel level, and your engine coolant level. The engine start button's a little high up here. It's kind of strange placement in my opinion. Normally it's right down here with the gear shifter or something, but it looks really nice in here. Everything's beautifully finished. adore this interior. It's really a great place to spend time. As far as interior space is concerned, I have plenty of, arm room here. It's very spacious and airy cabin. The back seat area is a little small. This isn't a huge family hauler. I mean, you can put kids back there fine. I'm a pretty short guy, but even with me, there's only enough room in there for maybe someone that's on the shorter side. So transporting 4 people in this car, 4 full-size adults in this car would be doable. But it's not something that I would want to do on a daily basis, I don't think. I think you want something a little bit bigger if you're going to be hauling around 4 adults in this all the time. And the glass is a little small, so that hurts your visibility a little bit. But again, it's not a huge deal. It's something you just get used to, and then it doesn't bother you. So this car has a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder motor. And let's give it a go and see how it is. So the acceleration is okay. This is 240 horsepower, 251 foot-pounds of torque, but it's hauling around 4,000 pounds almost. So, it's definitely not fast. That's obviously apparent. I mean, it gets up and goes okay, but one thing that I've noticed just from the little bit of driving I've been doing in traffic so far is that the turbo lag is really bad in this. I know that this motor is derived from the EcoBoost motor that Ford has, and in the Ford version, from what I've heard, the EcoBoost isn't that bad, but in this, it's really laggy. Almost so much that it's jerky, because you have a really sensitive gas pedal in this car and a really sensitive brake, and so whenever you're trying to, gradually accelerate, it's like no power until 2,500 RPMs, and then boom, it kicks on, and it's very pronounced. So that's something that I guess you have to get used to. I'll drive this car a little longer and see if that's something that I can get used to. And I have it in standard drive right now, so if I put it over into sport, it would get the idea that I'm trying to drive a little more aggressively. As far as handling dynamics go, it's difficult to say. I'm on a curvy road here, and it handles better than I expected. I mean, this is a Range Rover, and it doesn't let you forget it. I mean, I'm sitting up high in this, and you feel that. You feel some body roll, but it's pretty well controlled. It gets a little floaty at times over undulations and, little bumps in the road. It does kind of get a little floaty, but again, we're reviewing a Range Rover now. This isn't like the Porsche I was doing earlier today. So, it's definitely not bad. It's something I can get used to, but this isn't a Cayenne Turbo or GTS where it feels like a car. So yeah, engine note is an engine note. Nothing harmonious or good sounding really. It just is. It's not bad either. Yeah, so I'm gonna drive this car a little bit longer and see if I can get used to the way this engine and transmission work together, and see if this car grows on me a little bit. So I'm gonna go drive some more, and I'll be back with some updated impressions later on. So I've been driving this Range Rover now for a few hours, and I've kind of gotten the feel for it now. I was a little harsh on it in the beginning, but now I kind of have settled into the rhythm of how you drive this car and enjoy it. And, like I said, it's definitely not a sports car. After coming out of the Porsche I was driving earlier today and into this was a huge, change, huge contrast. But, this car is really great for what it's meant to do, which is commuting and cruising around and driving. And for that purpose alone, this is a really nice car. It's really just a joy to drive. It's not a painful process. I mean, with this beautiful, huge glass roof, and you have this amazing sound system, and a very comfortable ride, and, it's a great feeling car. You love going down the road in it. It's the kind of car, though, that, it minimizes the driving experience. So if you want to be involved, don't buy this. If you want to buy an involved SUV, I'd suggest a Cayenne GTS or something like that for the same money. but for just cruising around, this is great. I mean, you can take your mind off the fact that you have to drive somewhere and just enjoy the experience of being whisked along in this Range Rover. It's really just bathing you in luxury. These seats are very comfortable. It's library quiet in here. I mean, it was bizarre. Like, I couldn't even hear, there was an ambulance at one point driving by, and I could barely hear the sirens from the ambulance. I mean, it's that quiet in here. I'm really amazed. I can't tell you the last time I sat in a car that was this quiet, but it's really impressive. I mean, I can hear myself thinking here. It's ridiculous. So yeah, you know, as far as the handling and things like that go, you know, you just have to kind of feel this car out. You know, like I mentioned earlier, the gas pedal's really touchy, and this engine has turbo lag, which is all true. But, you know, if you learn to feather the gas and you kind of, you know, just take it easy and just feel it out, it's hard to explain, but once you've been driving this car for a few hours, you get used to the pedal response and the engine's lack of low torque, and you kind of just, you get settled into it. And it's a very nice car to drive once you get used to it. I would say that if you're going to test drive one of these, you might be selling yourself short if you only test drive it for a little while. If you can get one for a longer period of time or something, this car does grow on you. Most cars do grow on you, but this car really does grow on you. And you know, now that I've been driving it a few hours, I could really see myself driving one of these as a family car. You know, if I didn't want anything sporty or aggressive, I just wanted something to get me somewhere comfortably and in luxury and make a statement while doing it, because this car is definitely aggressively styled, then this is the car for you. I mean, it's very nice. You know, this sound system just blows me away. One of the best sound systems I've ever heard in a car, combined with the library quietness in here and everything else. I mean, this is, especially for the money, I mean, you're not paying top dollar here. This is, you know, $60,000 brand new generally. I mean, it's not bad at all, really, for what you're getting. It's pretty impressive. I gotta hand it to Range Rover. There's some things that needs a little bit of fine tuning. Like I said, this user interface for the maps and the, you know, audio, video, and all that kind of stuff is slow. It's slow. I mean, at one point, it took me almost 5 seconds after I hit the play button for it to start playing music. Stuff like that, it needs to be a little bit better. I'm hoping that over the next few years, as they update these, that will get better. But as a first attempt at the Evoque, the first generation of the Evoque, it's very, very impressive indeed, and I really enjoy driving it, actually. It's a great car, and I normally don't enjoy driving SUVs, especially ones that make you feel this high up. I mean, you feel like you're driving a tank. It's really high up, but you still have really good visibility out front. You don't feel like you're driving something massive. You know, it's very accessible, I guess is the word to use. It's a really nice car. I'd certainly recommend it.